Oh boy, things are really starting to heat up now.
Is this catapult Miami into Richard Sherman's top 3 power rankings potentially?
No question it does.
Now, lucky for us, we still have 15 more weeks of this to come, plus playoffs. So let's see where we're at after 3 weeks as we dive into our Week 4 edition of the Power Rankings. Number 32, Houston Texans. Last time's ranking, 30. The Texans are one of the 2 winless teams remaining through 3 weeks. It's just getting uglier and uglier each week, and it's not too early for Texans fans to watch CJ Stroud highlights. Why? Well, because Davis Mills isn't really looking like the guy anymore. Things looked good after they tied the Colts in Week 1, but they've looked more and more like the team we expected to see this season in these last 2 games. Number 31, New York Jets. Last time's ranking, 29. Not a surprise that the Jets lost to a desperate Cincinnati Bengals team in Week 2, but Corey Davis and Garrett Wilson are the only ones doing anything on offense. Man, the rebuilt D has been awful aside from rookie sensation Ahmad Sauce Gardner. It'll be interesting to see what they've got once Zach Wilson returns. Number 30, Las Vegas Raiders. Last time's ranking, 28. After going off in Week 1, Devontae Adams was limited to 7 catches for 48 yards over the next 2 games. The Raiders ignored the need to fix a woeful offensive line and atrocious secondary. Their passing game isn't good enough to win them games on their own, and it's only 3 weeks into his tenure in Vegas, but you've got to think that Josh McDaniels is already on the hot seat. Number 29, Seattle Seahawks. Last time's ranking, 25. Seattle's Week 1 win over the Broncos was fun, but man, reality has started to settle in. This is a sub-500 football team that will squeak out some wins thanks to their deep set of offensive playmakers, but the defense is just way too flawed, and Geno Smith isn't it. Number 28, Washington Commanders. Last time's ranking, 21. The Commanders' thrilling Week 1 win over the Jacksonville Jaguars feels like a lifetime ago. Carson Wentz is reminding us all why 2 teams could not wait to trade him within a 1-year period. And again, it's not entirely his fault, considering that the offensive line has allowed him to take 15 sacks through 3 games. Number 27, Atlanta Falcons. Last time's ranking, 32. The Falcons won't be as bad as we thought thanks to the Marcus Mariota-led offense. Cordarrelle Patterson is playing like one of the league's top running backs, Kyle Pitts finally got it going in Week 3, and Drake London is an early frontrunner for Offensive Rookie of the Year honors. But can they keep it up? Number 26, New Orleans Saints. Last time's ranking, 11. Jameis Winston has reverted to his old Buccaneers form. Just 2 touchdowns and 5 interceptions over his last 2 outings now. It was not supposed to be like this. Winston has got to learn to protect the football. Number 25, Carolina Panthers. Last time's ranking, 31. Baker Mayfield made the plays when he had to, and Carolina's opportunistic defense powered the way to a 22-14 home win to snap the franchise's 9-game losing skid. Hey, it's at least something for Matt Rule's club to build on. Number 24, Detroit Lions. Last time's ranking, 23. A frustrating loss for the Lions, who had it in the bag against Minnesota in Week 3, until they didn't. Despite the heartbreaking loss, Jeffrey Okudah alone put in a performance worth celebrating. He completely shut down Justin Jefferson and is finally looking like the all-pro level corner this team envisioned when they took him 3rd overall in 2020. Number 23, Pittsburgh Steelers. Last time's ranking, 17. Yeah, Mitch Trubisky isn't the answer, and they have Kenny Pickett waiting in the wings, so what are you waiting for, Tomlin? You can't let Trubisky hold back an offense with this much talent. Unless, you're not focused on making the playoffs this year. Number 22, Chicago Bears. Last time's ranking, 27. It's pretty clear that Matt Eberflus wants David Montgomery and Khalil Herbert to drive the offense, and hey, they've been doing a pretty good job at it so far. The revived defense is also allowing just 19 points per game through 3 weeks. The Bears are 2-1 and winning the old school way. Run the ball down the opponent's throat, let your D take care of the rest. Number 21, New England Patriots. Last time's ranking, 14. What a frustrating loss to Baltimore just all around. The defense couldn't stop a nosebleed, the offense committed way too many costly turnovers, and now Mac Jones is likely to miss multiple games with an ankle sprain. All this after a feel-good road win in Pittsburgh a week earlier. Bill Belichick has to get it figured out with this defense ASAP. Number 20, Arizona Cardinals. Last time's ranking, 12. The Cardinals blew way too many opportunities in their Week 3 home loss to the defending Super Bowl champion Los Angeles Rams. DeAndre Hopkins' highly anticipated return is nearing, but the Jekyll and Hyde play is not going to cut it throughout the course of an entire season. Number 19, New York Giants. Last time's ranking, 13. Just when we thought these Giants might be for real, their offense completely sputters at home on primetime against the rival Dallas Cowboys. Now, to Daniel Jones' credit, he actually played pretty well in this one. It's just a shame he rarely ever had time to throw. And when he was able to get a pass off, his wide receivers were more likely to drop it than catch it. The good news is they're still 2-1 with a great chance to bounce back next week at home against the Bears. Number 18, Tennessee Titans. Last time's ranking, 24. The Titans saved their season by beating the Raiders in the battle of underachieving 0-2 teams. Ryan Tannehill and Derrick Henry got back to basics, and Robert Woods came up big with 4 receptions for 85 yards. So now the Titans are back in the game at 1-2 in an AFC South that is still very winnable. Number 17, Cleveland Browns. Last time's ranking, 20. Nick Chubb dominated the Steelers' front 7 on Thursday Night Football, rushing for 113 yards and 1 score. Offseason pickup Amari Cooper also went off for 7 catches, 101 yards, and a score to help Cleveland improve to 2-1. Cleveland now gets a vulnerable Week 4 opponent in Atlanta, followed up by the banged-up Los Angeles Chargers team and Patriots team that will likely be without Mac Jones. The path is honestly there for a 5-2 start. They just gotta take it. Number 16, Cincinnati Bengals. Last time's ranking, 22. The Bengals finally played up to their expected standards and made easy work of the Jets in Week 3, picking up their first win of 2022. It was only a matter of time until the defending AFC champions got it going offensively. Joe Burrow was only sacked twice by the Jets, and the Bengals D had a field day against longtime nemesis Joe Flacco. Number 15, San Francisco 49ers. Last time's ranking, 10. Jimmy Garoppolo has to be better, no doubt. But we're confident the 49ers will be just fine. Losing to Russell Wilson isn't anything new for this franchise after all. San Fran's D has been lights out in the early going, and with George Kittle healthy, the passing offense should find its groove eventually. Don't worry, this ain't the time to hit the panic button, Niners fans. Number 14, Indianapolis Colts. Last time's ranking, 19. The Colts saved their season with a gutsy comeback win against the Kansas City Chiefs in Week 3. Say what you want about KC giving that game away on a silver platter, but Frank Reich's group owes no one an apology for beating an NFL powerhouse. Now it's time to cut down on the turnovers and get that O-line to play up to its high standards for once. Number 13, Dallas Cowboys. Last time's ranking, 26. Well, what do you know? Maybe these Dallas Cowboys are gonna be alright after all. They're 2-0 with Cooper Rush under center in place of Dak Prescott, and it seems like the change in quarterback has actually helped them to get back to basics. Could Jerry Jones be right? Might we see a little QB controversy in Dallas once Dak's set to return? Number 12, Los Angeles Chargers. Last time's ranking, 7. The Bolts may be the biggest loser of the week. They were humiliated at home by the Jaguars for starters, plus they lost stalwart offensive tackle Rashawn Slater for the year with a torn bicep. Joey Bosa left the game with a groin injury too, and we thought missing Keenan Allen and JC Jackson was bad enough to begin with. Number 11, Jacksonville Jaguars. Last time's ranking, 18. Break up the Jaguars. 1 week after crushing the Colts at home, something that isn't exactly new, the Jaguars went into La La Land and made easy work of the Chargers. Trevor Lawrence only had 12 touchdowns last year. In just 3 weeks this season, he's already up to 6. Your franchise QB has arrived, Duval County. Number 10, Denver Broncos. Last time's ranking, 16. Somehow, the Broncos are 2-1 on the year, despite averaging 14.3 points per game through 3 weeks. Broncos fans should be encouraged that the team actually has a winning record, but it won't last if Russell Wilson and the offense can't get things going.
They should have paid that punter $235 million instead of Russell.
Number 9, Minnesota Vikings. Last time's ranking, 15. The Vikings have a knack for giving games away late in the fourth quarter, but they played role reversal this week and pulled off an incredible comeback against the Lions at home to get back above 500. Kirk Cousins looks right at home in Kevin O'Connell's offense, and KJ Osborne really stepped up in Week 3 while Jeff Okudah was busy shutting down Justin Jefferson. They are a bona fide playoff contender that still probably hasn't hit their full potential yet. Number 8, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Last time's ranking, 3. The Bucs held an Aaron Rodgers-led offense to 14 points and shut him out the entire second half, and yet they still lost a heartbreaker. Tom Brady just couldn't get it going without his top 3 receivers. We haven't seen this Tampa offense at full strength since the first half of week 1, so better times should be ahead once they start to get some of those guys back in the lineup. Number 7, Baltimore Ravens. Last time's ranking, 9. Bill Belichick usually finds a way to shut down the opposition's best players, but Lamar Jackson and Mark Andrews made easy work of the Patriots' defense in a statement 37-26 road win. The Ravens gave up their fair share of explosive plays, but 4 timely turnovers by the defense made up for that. Baltimore got their first ever regular season road win against the Patriots, and they did so in style. Number 6, Los Angeles Rams. Last time's ranking, 8. The Week 1 blowout loss against the Buffalo Bills is a distant memory now. The Ravens haven't even played their best football, but they still sit atop the NFC West with a 2-1 record. The Rams overwhelmed Kyler Murray and the Cardinals' offense and kept them out of the end zone all day long. Matt Stafford made just enough plays to help the defending champs move above 500 for the first time this year. More difficult test awaits in Week 4 when they travel to San Francisco for a Monday night showdown. Number 5, Kansas City Chiefs. Last time's ranking, 2. The Chiefs absolutely gave that game to the Colts in Week 3. Big opportunity lost with the Raiders and Chargers also losing. But oh well, these things happen, even to the best teams. It's just one game. Time to turn the page and get ready for Chapter 6 of the highly anticipated Tom Brady versus Patrick Mahomes rivalry. Should be a doozy. Number 4, Buffalo Bills. Last time's ranking, 1. Some awful clock management cost the Bills' chance to move to 3-0 on the season. No wonder Ken Dorsey was so angry about that loss. We understand the frustration of Bills fans, but it was one bad day at the office. They'll clean it up and figure it out. Once that defense gets some healthy bodies back, look out. Number 3, Green Bay Packers. Last time's ranking, 5. It wasn't pretty, but you don't get style points in the win-loss columns. The Packers D mostly shut down Tom Brady and made up for Green Bay's inept second-half performance on offense. These Packers are built different from the Packers teams we're used to seeing. They won't need an MVP version of Rodgers to have a chance at winning it all this year. Number 2, Miami Dolphins. Last time's ranking, 6. The Dolphins had the biggest statement win of Week 3 by narrowly getting past the powerhouse Bills by a final score of 21-19. And what do you know? This Tua Tagovailoa guy is the real deal after all. Throw in that top-level defense, and Miami is now officially a championship contender. Number 1, Philadelphia Eagles. Last time's ranking, 4. Teams have no answer for that Philly offense right now. Teams also have no answer for that ferocious Philly defense that is dominating at every level. Is this the most complete team in football right now? We'd say so. The vibes sure are good in Philly right now. But what changes would you make to our Week 4 edition of the NFL Power Rankings? Join us in the comment section below. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, clicking the like button helps out a ton. And hey, we appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching and we'll see you guys next time.